So, tell me something terrible. Look how rigid and stiff your mic is looking today.
It is.
I just said
very.
I just combined today
erect.
and tonight and todite.
Tonight?
Todite?
Yes.
That sounds like what's the weird English slang? Crikey, not crikey. What is it?
No, whatever you're going to say is going to sound slightly racist and social appropriation.
Like, it's in the UK.
Cockney.
Cockney. Yeah, that sounds like a whatever word you just said.
All right, Cockney.
Cockney.
That's an accent in the UK.
Cockney's when you...
Yep, I thought you were trying to get into,
That's a defense mechanism, isn't it? Sorry.
I thought that you were trying to get into the...
No, the UK. I just know they like smash words together and make up weird things.
They do. I follow somebody who like translates Cockney on TikTok. You don't care.
Is it pronounced Cockney like that aggressively?
Cockney. Probably not. You probably
it's more
swallow
like a
half
G,
of it.
right?
Cockney.
Like a cogny?
Cogny.
And
Sure,
not
the Cockney accent.
And you're just saying Cockney over and over again.
What you want from me? We have a Midwestern accent. I can't. I'm really bad at voices.
All right, good news, guys. Again, we are going to get ahead of schedule, but until then, we are going to record the night before every night for the foreseeable future.
Are we ever going to get ahead of schedule?
I have no idea, but
Look, I'm busy.
I literally worked out tonight and then opened a bottle of wine, drank said bottle of wine, except for like the 2 ounces in my glass. So this could go off the rails super quick.
It turned into another hour-long podcast?
Potentially. How many pages you got? Like 6?
No, 3 1/4.
That's above average.
No, it's not.
Anyway.
It's about what I write.
Good news.
I have cheese.
We actually have announcements.
We do. Oh, yes, we do.
We have a new patron. I don't know why I've taken over all the patron announcements, but I don't get to talk as much, so I feel like that's part of the shtick.
I don't care. Your patron's your...
It is. Well,
patron's your baby.
This is the hard part. Do I go by the name that she submitted to Patreon?
Yes.
But that's her maiden name.
Shit.
Okay. Kelly, as she knows who she is. I don't have to explain it beyond that. I don't know. She doesn't have her last name on Facebook, so maybe she wants to be private. You know who you are. Kelly with an I. Mm-hmm. As you are known and appreciated. Thank you for, your text reaching out, letting us know you like the podcast. That means a lot.
And the binge that I'm assuming she was on.
Somebody was on. Anyway, we've had a lot of... that's fine. It won't pick up the air conditioner.
Maybe.
Anyway,
if it's real fuzzy, guys, it's because we have our window shakers in.
we've had a really good weekend listens because multiple people have been binging, not bitching. That sounded like I said bitching. Binging. But yeah, so she reached out, said she appreciates it, or likes the podcast, which we appreciate like more than anything. And then she joined Patreon, which even is more awesome, which means she gets currently only 2 bonus episodes and a bunch of other like stuff.
Scott's working on his, but he's wishy-washy about the subject. He's changed it 3 times.
The first 2 subjects I picked were so depressing, I didn't even want to talk about them, let alone tell them to you. So there will
I have a real dark sense of humor, though. I would have found something. I could have been like, hey.
Gunshots wounded to the head are really hard to joke about.
Are they? Well, shit.
Okay, good. Great. This is the thing. You get 8, 9, whatever episodes a month to like even it out. So you can have some really terrible ones and then ones about a dam that I don't know where it's at. I only get one a month to make an impression. Don't laugh at my
We have one desert in the United States.
The fact that I'm a geographical novice, which took me a lot of time prepping in my mind before I said that out loud. Anyway, back to on topic. Kelly, we thank you for your patronage.
Yes.
You will get a pin in the mail. Or in
months.
person, whenever.
Or in person?
I don't know where she got a job in a lab, not that lab, a different lab. Kelly is at the other lab. Anyway, Kelly, I don't know.
Hush your damn mouth.
I don't know where Kelly's at now, but we will figure that out either via mail or in person. It'll just be on your doorstep because you sent us your mailing address. So watch out for the creepy silver truck just doing circles in your town or in your block now. But thank you again. Okay, that's all mine. And we started a giveaway.
We did.
Which, if you're listening to this on Friday, if you're one of the like bright early
day,
people, yeah, because we have like that like wave that listens as soon as we post it. Last night, what is tonight? The 24th of June, Thursday. And if you're listening to this in 2022, sucks to be you. But we started a giveaway tonight, because it's Thursday, for 2 wine glasses and 2 TMST Pod enamel pins. Enamel. No, you made the
soft enamel pins.
Yeah.
Because they have better detail.
Which means they're more expensive.
Yes.
Anyway,
not that
but we
much
started a
more.
giveaway on Facebook. So if you comment any person's name, you and said person, because there's 2 wine glasses and 2 pins, are in a giveaway, free, we will ship them both to you, unless we know where you live. And then we'll just drive them to you. Cause,
then you'd
let's
get
be
lucky.
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hopefully it's a stranger, because that's what we're going for here. It is a way to, A, thank all of you that listen, and B, try to get more people to listen, because all of you that do listen seem to like it. So it is our signature shameless plugging, which always makes her giggle a little off mic.
Or on mic, just
Either way.
depending how drunk I am.
Yes. But, so if you see that on Facebook, go ahead, tag a friend, tag someone who doesn't listen or does listen. Either way, tag 28 people. We don't care.
Just in 28 separate comments.
We're just trying to, separate comments, because we'll give them all a number, and we're going to do a drawing on July 1st. So get them in by July 1st.
7 p.m. by July 1st.
7 p.m. Eastern.
Eastern.
Here in the great state of Michigan. Is the whole state of Michigan in the same?
Yes.
Chicago's not. So I didn't know if
Chicago,
the UP
like
was.
half of.
I didn't know if the UP like ventured over.
No.
Anyway, we're not in the UP, so it doesn't matter. We are trolls through and through. So anyway, I'm done with announcements, and I'm going to stop talking for the next 45 minutes. Bye.
Hopefully not. Otherwise, this is going to get real awkward.
Says you.
Also, after all of that spiel, hi, I'm Tiffany.
Oh, hi. It's only 7 minutes, and we're good. I'm
That's not
Scott.
bad. Yeah. And you're listening to Tell Me Something Terrible.
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
Good for you.
Yep.
You're starting your Friday or whatever day of the week it is off on a terrible note.
Yes, you really are.
Is this one
one's-
terrible?
Yes.
This one is weird because I kind of know what it is, only because I stumbled upon an article and I didn't read it. I read the title and sent it to you, and I was like, this seems like something you would like to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's as far as I got.
Yep. And then we read it, and I was like, ooh, unsolved political murder. And then I was like, oh, fuck. This deserved a deep dive, but like also I am not going to buy 2 books and read them, so we're going to do a shallow dive.
Have you read the one book you did buy yet?
No, it's in there. That's going to be a 2-parter later on when we have like more time and shit.
So like end of July.
No.
End of August. End of September?
Sure, probably
Give me
August
a month,
or September.
lady.
Because like in July we're going to do our deep dive with
Oh,
the Sheeries.
yes. Jamie and Beth.
Yes.
Our number 1 and 2 supporters in no particular order.
Yeah. So like
They're the ones that like and comment and share on everything.
everything.
Yeah.
And they were like early on listeners, and they were early on patrons.
In all honesty,
and they're coming up. So I thought we'd do a deep dive with them.
like a 2-parter, in person.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that'll be like our first, and we may do that with like some of our local
And patrons. Yeah, for sure. And we, in all honesty, like
If it goes well, it could be a complete dumpster fire.
there's a small group of our friends that do create content, whether it's podcasts or
streaming,
like video games or YouTube videos, whatever it is. And that's like, that was part of the inspiration to do this anyway.
Oh, yes.
So that's kind of like a whole full circle thing anyway.
Yeah.
And he lets me play video games with him sometimes on stream. So that's like, so it's full circle in that way too.
you have to support one another.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
So yeah, but
So-
tonight's, I don't know anything about, besides the fact that it's a Michigan senator, and that's literally as far as I read. And I was like, A, this article's way too long for me.
It's very long.
Yes. And B, this probably is a good topic for you.
Yes.
And by you saying it's 3 and whatever pages long,
We better get started.
yes.
Okay. So
And I'm having wine tonight and not my normal vodka and energy drink combo.
he's going to be slurry and sleepy, guys. Slurry and
Yep.
sleepy.
Which is why I wanted to do all my talking in the first 7 minutes, and then I'll fade off into this. What are you pointing at your White Claw for? You need another one?
Yes, I do.
What do you... Okay. All right.
Pause for the
Drink
cause.
break. White Claw acquired. Let's proceed.
Okay. So,
First
Like I
sentence
said-
of your 3.5 pages.
like I said, this episode probably deserves a deep dive, or I might just like go back and do like mini episodes, not mini episodes, but like regular episodes off of kind of like all of the entanglements.
This is all it's ever going to get.
involved.
Let's be honest with ourselves.
No, bro, because Al Capone's on my deep dive list.
This involves Al Capone.
Fuck yeah. I mean, like, tertiary. Yeah. No, I told you. It's like, fucked. I started reading it and was like, oh my God, this is a lot.
This needs its own podcast.
It really does. There's 3 books dedicated to it.
Wow.
So, yeah, 2 books that are like
I don't even remember how I stumbled upon it.
I don't remember either. It was a University of Michigan article.
Yeah, I know that part. I sent it to you, but I don't remember how I
Who knows? The algorithms, Facebook, they watch you. So this one's a little bit heavy. So,
is there any trigger warnings besides mob hits?
No, there's no
and
suicides
gunshot
in this
wounds
one.
to the head.
Yep. Because remember how I made that joke?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah,
I was here for
Stonewall.
that.
I was like, don't worry, we'll get to an episode. I'll do a murder next week where somebody gets like their brains blown out.
3, I mentioned a gunshot wound, and you're like, "Oh, is that too deep?"
No, but like 2 episodes ago, remember when we did Stonewall? I was like, don't worry, we'll get back to a murder. Mm-hmm. I'll do one where somebody gets their brains blown out, and I was like, I'll do this one, and I started reading, and was like, oh shit.
No, you were right with balloon out.
Balloon out. Yeah,
Yep.
their brains balloon out.
Yep.
So.
Like it's a clown doing like poodles and stuff. Sorry, that's balloon is what I heard.
See, and in my mind, I'm like thinking like the membranes of the brain, like eventually getting like turned into like, yeah, no, it's bad. You can't say things like that because my mind goes to like the worst sort of visual.
So I went to the worst comedic element, and you went to the worst like anatomically correct version.
I studied art. I don't know what you want from me. In my mind, it would be a fun painting. So if anybody out there,
so you're like you're like the slow mo Boondock Saints montage.
Yeah, yes. Except instead of like blood spatter, it turns into a wiener dog balloon.
Okay.
Yep.
That's odd.
And that's where my mind went. So tonight, I'm going to tell you about the murder/assassination of the Michigan State Senator Warren Hooper. So Hooper.
Okay.
Like after our cat.
Hooper is the name of the Detroit Pistons mascot.
Okay. Also, apparently he's like the great nephew or somebody of like some dude who signed the Declaration of Independence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a Hooper on the Declaration of Independence?
I don't fucking know.
It's not Hancock.
We know John Hancock, and then the rest are like in size 8 like font, like
okay.
script.
And we do call our cat Ula Hoop to Poop. I don't know why. That's just one of her 4,000 nicknames. There she goes.
She shook the floor. She getting pudgy.
She's like 14 years old. Give her a break.
She's not. She's like 8 years old.
Read your story, lady. It's been 20 minutes. You've read a sentence.
So anyway, he started out as just a businessman owning a gas stations in Albion, Michigan, before moving into politics.
Oh, that's local.
Very local.
Mm-hmm. I've been to Albion once. You had a house listing in Albion when you were a real estate agent.
I did.
It's 8 years ago.
Wow. 6 years ago. Lily was alive.
Oh, I thought you did it pregnant. Maybe it was after.
No, she was like a baby.
Anywho.
Anyway.
Time's scary.
It is
Ignore
scary.
it as long as you
have
can.
a child. They are the personification of time passing, and it's horrifying.
They're a stopwatch going in the wrong direction. Yes.
It's panic-inducing. Anyway, his political career started as a Republican in the Michigan House of Representatives in the 1st District in 1938. He served 3 terms. He then moved on to a Senate seat in the 9th District. And 2 weeks into his senator's term, he was shot in the head 3 times down a cold, windy, snowing stretch of M99 on his way home to Albion from Lansing on January 11th, 1945.
Oh, wow. We're just getting right into the terrible stuff. Okay,
Yep.
cool.
So Senator Hooper was driving south.
I can't take him. Okay. Also, my Uncle Kurt, his dog's name was Hooper.
It's a great pet name.
Yeah. Hooper, you can't take seriously.
No.
Like, that's a nickname.
Would you like me to
What was
call
his
him
first name?
Warren?
Warren? No, that's terrible, too.
So Senator...
I mean, it's a fine name, but it's just Hooper. Hooper.
It was the 40s. What do you want?
What were we joking about last episode?
I don't remember. Does it matter?
No, we were making fun of something.
Minnie?
No. This was multiple episodes ago where I couldn't pronounce. Anyway, it was the Canadian.
It was the Duber Hoopers?
Duber Hoopers. Yep. That's where the Hoopers coming in. Okay. Duber Hoopers, Senator Hoopers. Okay. It's all coming around to me.
So he was headed back home on an isolated highway after a huge storm the day before, which had caused temperatures that day to plummet. and this left the roads empty of anyone driving by. Suddenly, he was run off the road by a maroon car at about 4:30 in the afternoon, pushing him halfway into the snow and halfway onto the road. And not like where one side of the road, like one side of the car is in the snow and one side of the car is in the median. It was like the front end of the car was in the snow and the back end was on the road.
So he's sideways.
Yes.
Okay.
And
I like how you had the detail of a maroon car.
It's important.
Okay.
Okay.
My first car was a maroon car.
Was it? Did it belong to a deputy warden in the Jackson prison?
No.
Okay.
My grandma let me borrow her Taurus while I paid her to rent it, and then she eventually used that rental to help me buy my first vehicle.
Which was a?
Oh, this was after my truck. So this was when
this was after the truck? She didn't help you buy the truck?
No, that was my graduation money. So if you gave me money at my graduation party, help me buy the truck. No, this is when I went from her maroon Taurus to
your
a green Taurus. Yeah.
Which you'll never guess what color car Senator Hooper was driving.
A green Taurus?
It was a green Mercury, but yeah.
Yeah, same
Close
thing.
enough, yeah. Much, so
that is useless information 101, by the way.
So he was still facing south, but now he's on the wrong side of the road. A witness named Harry Snyder, whose testimony was the first break in the case, was a grocery store salesman. He thought that it was odd to see two cars stopped on the side of the road with what little traffic there was and made note of the scene. Snyder described to the police how the maroon car had pulled up to the green car Hooper was driving, that green Mercury. Mm-hmm. The driver of the maroon car walked up, got a good look at the, quote, fella behind the wheel, and Snyder had spotted a second man on the left side of Hooper's car. Snyder said, quote,
there was two people outside his car?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if you meant like
one person was...
two people inside his car or outside. Okay.
Yeah, one person was inside of the car with him because he had gotten moved over to the passenger seat.
Hooper?
With Hooper.
Okay.
And then somebody else was standing on the left side of the car.
Okay.
So Snyder said, quote, it was as if the second man was talking to this fellow sitting in the car, which afterwards I found out was the dead fellow. See? Because, it was the 40s. The dead fellow sat with his head down like a drunk would. So he drove up on the scene of the crime just after he got shot.
Okay.
Yeah. So Senator Hooper was found by a passing motorist later on after his death by Floyd Majeska, who stopped to investigate. By this point, the car was starting to burn from the cigarette that Hooper was smoking. So they shot him and his cigarette fell out and just started a fire. It was in neutral and turned off. Inside, Floyd saw Hooper slumped over in the passenger seat, partially burned with three bullets holes in his head.
No, 3 bullet heads in his hole. Giggity.
So Hooper had been shot by a .38 caliber pistol, and the first bullet had entered his left cheekbone, just below his eye. Another bullet lodged in his left ear. Yes.
His ear?
Uh-huh. And the third shattered the top of his skull.
Okay. Getting progressively worse.
So the men fled, leaving the car to burn on the side of the road. Tracks were visible in the snow, leading back to where the maroon car was parked. His murder had happened 4 days before he was set to appear in front of the Ingham County Circuit Court Judge Leland Carr, who was to be the one-man grand jury for a trial to suss out corruption in the state government.
Oh, okay. So he was not a wanted man, but a polarizing figure.
Yes. So in exchange for... Back off my cheese.
Nope. This cheese is my cheese. This land is my land.
So in exchange for immunity, Senator Hooper confessed to taking a $500 bride. Lord.
From a catalog?
Yes, from Puerto Rico.
You are mine.
So he confessed to taking a $500 bribe from the former state president. Oh my God.
Do you need to do some Out Now Brown Cows?
Maybe. So he confessed to taking a $500 bribe.
When those claws hit out of nowhere.
From the former state treasurer, Frank McKay, a sports promoter named Floyd Fitzsimmons, and a former...
Why is everyone named Floyd or Frank?
Floyd.
It's a bunch of F words. Anyway.
It's the only F word allowed in the 40s.
5-word F words.
So, and then also a former state rep named William Green.
Wait, why does Floyd only have one L, but Lloyd has two? Sorry. Just crossed my mind. Had to say it out loud.
I don't
Proceed with your story about Floyd and Frank.
know.
I don't even know who's who anymore because I've interrupted you so many
It
times.
doesn't matter. They're just some corrupt city officials. Or state officials. So there's also a state rep named William Green who was involved in the whole scheme. So he was bribed to take the $500 for a vote in a horse racing bill. So apparently Michigan was one of the most corrupt states in the Midwest up to the 1940s, according to retired Judge William C. Whitbeck, who later wrote a book inspired by the murder. Quote, virtually everything was for sale. Legislators routinely took bribes. Many of them were on the payroll of trade associations. Judgeships were bought and sold.
Judge? Is that like to become a judge? Is that called a judgeship?
I suppose.
I learn new words every day on this podcast.
Yeah, we do.
I guess every week.
I'm a big lexicon lover.
Lexicon lover.
Words.
What if a girl was named Lexi and it was short for lexicon? Anyway, proceed with your story.
Hooper did not take the
This
police.
is what happens at 11 o'clock around our house. Like, literally, if we're watching TV, this is how dumb our conversations get.
They really,
So we're
they really are.
just a peek into our lives.
And I willingly married him, guys.
Or so she thinks.
I mean, I knew you before we got married, so I knew how bad it was going to be.
Right.
So Hooper did not take the police protection that was offered to him. Governor Vernon, definitely wrote Vernon J. Brown said upon hearing of the murder of Senator Hooper, quote, many persons will realize now for the first time that the grand jury is dealing with something sinister. It shows what the underworld will do when it finds itself in danger. A 25
Underworld?
Yeah, bro.
Why does that make me think of Hercules?
Hades is just going to rise out.
Hades is a judge in Michigan.
I mean, we do have a hell, Michigan. It seems appropriate.
Right? And it's got to be voiced by the guy who plays Hades in Hercules, the animated one.
Oh, definitely.
He's famous, too. I just can't think of his name.
I was a big fan. Oh, my God, with my hair. Why don't we go as Hercules for Halloween this year?
Can the dog be Pain or Panic? Anyway, proceed with your story.
I was thinking the three-headed dog whose names I don't remember, which is so sad.
Continue reading your story, man.
Anyway, there was a $25,000.
We warned you guys that tonight was going to be a little messy.
Yep. So there was a $25,000 reward, a $25,000 reward that was set by the state for any information leading to the solving of Hooper's murder. And this is when shit starts to get cray. The first man arrested was Abe Rosenberg, who was accused of killing Hooper because Hooper got a little too friendly with his wife. But this turned out to be completely untrue.
Can I interject with a quick? James Wood plays Hades in Hercules. You would know him if you saw him. Anyway, I just didn't want to get tweeted, Jamie, by somebody saying who plays Hades in Hercules, because he is famous.
All right, what's the name of the three-headed dog?
I don't freaking know.
Look it up, bro. So the next...
Who's the three-headed dog in Harry Potter?
It's the same name.
What?
I mean, Fluffy's the name of him, but it's the same kind of creature.
Go ahead with your story.
So the next break in the case came in March when Sam Abramowitz.
You have thrown so many names at us. I need a diagram.
Sorry, I know.
Frank, Floyd, Sam, William. I don't even know who's who anymore. Who died? Hooper. Hooper died.
Hooper died.
Yep.
McKay is important.
Okay.
Okay. The Sam character is important.
The guy you just brought up?
Yep.
Sam Abramowitz?
Yep.
Okay.
The Purple Gang is important.
We haven't even got there yet. No spoilers.
Sigler is important. These
reading.
are just names to keep an eye out for.
Okay.
So
ignore the rest. It's riff raft.
So he was a convict with ties to the Purple Gang that claimed that he and others had been hired by the head of the Purple Gang.
Wait, is this your first mention of the Purple Gang?
Yes.
Okay. Should I know them? Are they famous? No. Okay.
Public Enemy #1 with Johnny Depp is based off of the crimes of the Purple Gang.
10 years ago. Mm-hmm. I loosely remember. I remember like cars and fields and banks.
It was a really good movie.
It was. It's long though, isn't it?
Yes, it is very long. So the leader of the Purple Gang is Harry Fleischer.
Played by Johnny Depp.
And so they were all hired to kill Senator Hooper. Kim Sigler, who was the lead investigator for the homicide, he started looking into the case as a professional hit and tried his hardest to pin all of it on Frank McKay because he was the corrupt senator who was trying to get Hooper to take a vibe.
McKay hired the Purple Gang to kill Hooper.
That's the theory.
Okay.
All unproven. This is a completely unsolved case.
Wild speculation.
Still.
It's only 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to check the year. Don't judge me, lady.
So it turns out that maroon car mentioned earlier belonged to DC Petite.
Was he part of the Purple Gang?
No.
Could they only own shades of purple cars?
No.
Is maroon a shade of purple?
It's debatable. It could be brown, purple, or red.
Okay.
Turns
out it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it's
So Petit was the deputy prison warden for the Southern Michigan prison, which is the Michigan State Prison, which is in J-Town. Yep.
Okay.
Jackson.
The big house? Mm-hmm. Not the Michigan football big house, the big house where they keep all the bad guys.
Yep. So the car was allegedly borrowed by Sam Abramowitz.
Nailed it.
During one of the many daycations that he was afforded while he was in the Michigan State Prison.
Wait, what? What's a daycare? Like you can you're in prison, but you get like days off?
Yeah. So no, not technically. You're not supposed to, but apparently like the
If
kind
you're
of
a gang
more
member?
Yes, the
With
more
enough,
yes,
chutzpah?
enough clout,
I believe
enough money. Yep, the more notable kind of well-off inmates, they would just have like days where they'd be like, "Go about your business," and then they'd come back and no one would say anything. It wasn't actually permitted. It was just done.
Part of the corrupt everything.
It's amazing what corruption can lead to. So the Purple Gang was a primarily Jewish gang with members moving from New York.
So my term chutzpah was appropriate.
Yes. So I
got that from My Favorite Murder, by the way.
Where Georgia is Jewish.
Yes.
So these members kind of moved from New York after they had migrated from Russia and Poland to the U.S. They started a small-time gang in the late 1910s, right when Prohibition was kind of like tightening its grip on the United States. They were primarily bootleggers and hijackers, and they ran Detroit. They were known for excessive violence and the use of .38 caliber pistols.
Oh, hey, that's what killed Hooper. Mm-hmm. I do remember that amongst all the names you said.
Yep. So soon the Purple Gang escalated to armed robbery and truck hijacking. And as their violent reputation preceded them, other gangs began to fear them. Even Al Capone struck up a accord with them to prevent a bloody territory war, making a deal with the Purple Gang to help run illegal Canadian whiskey through Detroit to Chicago.
Why were they called the Purple Gang?
There's lots of reasons why they think. I didn't really put that in here. There's like a combination of like two people's names.
We need.
Yeah, well, maybe next time. Maybe I'll do an episode on the Purple Gang.
Okay.
It's Michigan related. Why not?
It's just a weird name for
there
a
is
gang.
So many offshoots in this story that I'm like, maybe I'll just like pop up randomly with something that comes back to this story because it's involved.
Your list of podcast topics grew while you did this.
Yes, it really did. So they didn't want to deal.
That one that was suggested on our YouTube video.
The Russian people.
Yeah.
The ice skaters or whatever.
No, I don't know.
It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out in a second.
Okay.
So the gang became prosperous, and they started to run all of Detroit's vice economy. So gambling, liquor, drugs, and the local wire service that provided horse racing information to the local betting parlors.
Okay.
What was Hooper supposed to vote on?
Horse racing.
Yes.
Which was very popular in Jackson, actually, for a long time.
Yeah, I think there's like an old horse racing place out in like Aaron's Park in Norval, isn't there? Didn't that used to be like an old horse racing place?
Jackson County, like the fairgrounds used to be horse racing.
Now they do demolition derbies.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And $4 corn dogs.
Oh, and deep fried Snickers.
Meh.
I would kill somebody to be able to eat a deep fried Snickers right now.
We have gluten-free panko. And deep fried.
I can't eat a Snickers.
Anyway, no one cares about your gluten-free follies.
It's awful. So since day trips out in the real world were kept in the real world were kept on the DL, it would create a perfect alibi for Sam Abramowitz, along with Harry Fleischer and
Harry Fleischer.
Harry Fleischer.
Harry Fleischer seems like a different subject.
Yeah, and his brother Sammy Fleischer. And the saloon operator Mike Silic and small-time gambler Pete Mahoney. They there's no way that they could have been like tagged as involved with the hit because they were behind bars, so it created like this perfect alibi, right?
Yeah, sure.
But with
all the names,
totally stereotypical 1940s gangster names.
Yeah,
every single one.
Pete
of them.
Mahoney.
Yeah. So, but there was eyewitness accounts
Was he
putting
Irish.
I don't know.
Pete Mahoney?
Shallow dives.
Nope. I need to know all the backstory. Why are they the Purple Gang?
I don't know. So, eyewitnesses kind of put two of them at the scene while driving the deputy warden's car. Soon, Salick, Fleischer, and Mahoney were charged with 4 to 5 years in prison for conspiracy to commit murder.
Was this Harry Fleischer?
Harry Fleischer.
Or his brother Sam?
Abramowitz.
Abramowitz.
Yep.
Is
walked
this the son
free.
of Sam?
No.
What
That
his
was
name?
David Berkowitz.
Okay, but I was close. Sam Abramowitz, Dave Berkowitz.
It's the wits. Now you're just being...
No, it was Sam.
Stereotypical.
No. There was 7 degrees of separation at least.
Okay. Well, I mean, the dog's name was Sam.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Sam Abramowitz walked
better every
free.
time.
Do what?
I said it gets better every time.
It does. So he walked free because he was given immunity for testifying against the others. It was pointed out in the trial, though, that Sam, I'm not even going to try it. I don't know why the fuck I kept writing his last name. I knew I wasn't going to be able to pronounce it. So Sam's shoe size matched the tracks leading away from the car in the snow. And that by giving him immunity, the prosecution believed...
That doesn't seem like perfect evidence, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. By giving him immunity, the prosecution believed that Kim Sigler may have let the person who pulled the trigger to walk free.
I mean, a shoe size seems very circumstantial.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, like
every dude has about the same size shoe, so let's be honest.
Yes, but, out of the group of prisoners that they were like, yeah, these were the guys that were in the Purple Gang who were linked to horse betting had killed a man who was trying to vote against, who was, trying to, bring up charges of corruption against a man who was involved with a horse betting bill. They were
unless
this
he's
guy
got
might have been the
some
one out
size
of that
17
group.
clown feet, I don't see this as relevant information.
Look, there was the whole point of a defense attorney. The whole point of a defense attorney is to cast doubt.
No. A defense attorney is looking for a mistrial because it goes on forever.
So, but with all of this, it still did not put blame on the person who was responsible for orchestrating and paying for the hit on Senator Hooper. The aforementioned
size 10.5. You're guilty as charged.
So the aforementioned Kim Sigler then went out to run for governor. Who was the attorney? Okay, so it was the
I do follow
detective.
A little bit. Yeah,
okay.
No, he's a detective. Yeah.
Yep. So it was a successful campaign with Sigler winning the governorship in 1946. So of course Sigler's priority had shifted, and the case was put on the back burner until a new investigator, Donald Leonard, took over in 1947. And this is when 2 inmates came forward, pretty much placing the blame on the deputy warden Petit, who was then brought in for questioning several times, but nothing came of it. So, of course, all of the records for official car use on the day of Hooper's murder were missing.
Shocking.
I know, right?
It's like when all the closed-circuit TV footage all goes missing when
someone
dies in a prison.
Or there was a flood.
Yeah, and it ruins all the documents.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So soon the case grew colder and colder.
How unfortunate.
Yeah. It's just so convenient. So the case grew colder and colder. Sigler lost the next election cycle, and then he died while piloting his own plane after crashing into a radio tower in Battle Creek.
Okay.
Yep.
That took a
left turn.
Well, maybe, or a right turn. Either way, he didn't miss that
radio tower.
Yeah.
So in the fight to try to pin down the murder,
goes down. What did you say, Battle Creek? Mm-hmm. Just smells like cornflakes while he's dying. The last thing he smells, cornflakes.
That would really be a bummer. You don't know how much the Kellogg's suck. So
Is that the next episode?
I mean, I could do a deep dive on the Kellogg's.
I used to like cornflakes. I haven't had cornflakes. Anyway, nobody cares about cornflakes.
So
They're great.
No, they were made to try to get people to like stop having sex and like be chaste and
Cornflakes?
dude, it's fucked. We'll have to
What?
We have to go into the history of the Kellogg's.
We all went on the Cereal City tour in like what, middle school?
Oh, it's so bad.
Why? How are cornflakes? Anyway,
I'll get to it later.
this is why I don't eat cereal.
Besides the beatus.
Well, yeah, because it's all covered in sugar.
Yeah, but Kellogg didn't want that. Sugar, like, it makes people too excited. I'm
So
telling you, it's so bad.
Okay, this has
We'll
to
get
be
to
an
it
episode.
eventually. So in the fight,
You've piqued my interest.
in the fight to try to pin the murder on the corrupt McKay, the investigation ultimately led to 62 convictions, including a former lieutenant governor.
62?
Yeah.
That seems excessive. They all own maroon cars.
All for corruption.
And they all had 10
No,
and a
it
half
wasn't
size
necessarily
shoes.
it wasn't for his murder. This is for the corruption that they were trying to pin down in the state of Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah. So like that was kind of like the snowball effect that led to 62 convictions, including a former lieutenant governor, 23 state
Kwame
legislators.
Kilpatrick. Sorry, too soon.
Too soon. And more than 30 lobbyists, police, and court officials.
Okay.
A lot of corruption in the 40s. So
In the 40s? Sorry.
it's better now. Actually, Michigan is allegedly one of the more transparent states in the Midwest, along with Wisconsin and Minnesota. Sorry, Ohio sucks. They're very non-transparent.
I don't actually know what all states are lumped into the Midwest.
Like, I don't either.
Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois,
Wisconsin, Illinois,
Indiana, Ohio,
Ohio,
Pennsylvania.
Michigan. I think it's pushing it. Pennsylvania might be in the north, like because Pennsylvania was part of the original 13 colonies, so they might be part of like the East Coast or the North.
Yeah. Well, they're like it's a big state too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Doesn't matter.
Geography,
Strong
suit. We
So-
are one.
Yep. So the case remained closed and unsolved until two books were written in the 1980s, which had sparked renewed interest by the Michigan State Police. The Bentley Library, I don't fucking know where that is. I didn't look into it.
It's in Bentley, Michigan.
Yep. Sure. They had all the
Wild
records.
Where else would the Bentley Library be?
Exactly. So they had all the records of the Hooper murder case, and Detective Sergeant Chet Wilson.
Chet?
Is that more modern day for you?
Chet
Wilson.
Chet wears jeans every day of the week.
He's got a mustache and a bad bowl cut, and he was a detective.
He doesn't have a bad bowl cut, but he's got a little.
It's the 80s, I bet you. It's a mullet.
He's got some. He's got
Almost
some
a rat tail.
longer in the back.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's bordering mullet / rat tail territory.
Chet wears jeans, no belt.
Yep.
That's what kind of life Chet lives.
So he was sent the digital copies of the Donald Leonard's files, who was
And
the
his
second
secretary
investigator.
had to help him open it because he had no idea what that meant.
So the second, of the Don Leonard's files, who's the second investigator to handle the murder case.
Mm-hmm.
So he draws a totally different conclusion than what was accepted as like the unofficial ruling of the case.
Well, Donald Leonard has two first names. Of course, he has a different conclusion.
No, the Chet guy.
Oh wait.
Yes, after going through Donald Leonard's
Original.
records.
Gotcha. What's Chet's last name?
Wilson.
Okay, he could have two first names too.
Yeah.
That
Depending
does
on
not
if you
does
watch
not matter at
1990s
all.
sitcoms.
Does not matter at all.
So Wilson went to interview Salick.
Let's call him Chet.
Chet went to interview Salick, which was part of like the original conspiracy to murder. He apparently escaped, and like the FBI had to find him a few years later.
I believe it's Selleck.
Selleck? Sure, why not?
Like Tom? Do you
Sure,
know who
why
Tom
not?
Selleck is?
No.
Oh, my.
Oh no. Oh no.
No, it's fine. You talked about mustaches and like Detroit Tigers hats. It's fine. Is it painting a picture now if I say mustache in Detroit?
No.
Okay. All right.
Who's Tom Selleck?
No, it's fine.
We've gone on enough tangents. Who's Tom Selleck?
No. I'll show you a picture later. You might understand that. I'll Google it on my phone. You keep reading. I'm not going to hear what you say.
So Mike Selleck was still alive in
No, Seelick.
Selick was still alive in 1989. Wilson Chet
This
said
is Tom
that.
Selleck.
Oh, I know who he is.
Yeah, of course you do. You live in this day and age. That mustache is enough.
That is not a mustache. That is like a full bush on his upper lip.
My phone just died, by the way.
So Wilson Chet said that
Sorry about that
Selleck
vibration.
was completely shook and nearly had a heart attack when he just showed up at the retirement home that he was
When
living
Chet
in.
showed up?
Yeah, when Chet showed up.
Selleck pooped his pants?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was an old man. He almost had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Selleck said
His
that
wheelchair is just stained forever.
all the brown stains.
Shit his britches.
So Selleck said that he didn't talk during the grand jury trial in 1945, and he is not going to talk about it now. So Mike Selleck died in 1996. So he was like the last known
I was 8 in
alive.
96.
I'm proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
Math.
So hard.
Yep. So he was the last like living suspect / witness to the case. So the case is still considered unsolved, and the murder weapon, the 38 caliber pistol, was never found.
Okay.
Senator Hooper's headstone reads, "With honesty he lived, and for honesty he was taken."
Hooper forever.
Yep. And this was
Hashtag Hooper forever.
So this is the very shallow, short version of the murder of Senator Hooper on January 11th, 1945.
Do you have sources?
I do. Wikipedia. Of course.
Wikipedia.
Yep, Wikipedia. But that's only for the little blip about the Purple Gang. And then the UMich article that you sent me titled "A Michigan Murder" by Laura Zeeland, and an article from the Lansing State Journal by Julie Putnam, and
Putting them in their place.
Yep. And a peek through time article from mlive.com.
Nice. Mm-hmm. There's so
It's
many
a lot.
layers. I know you just skimmed the top of it.
I tried. I tried to make it as concise as possible.
I just want to know everything about the Purple Gang.
Okay.
Maybe I'll look into the Purple Gang. That's the bonus episode.
All right.
Boom, I just thought of it.
Figured it out.
Deep dive into the Purple Gang on Patreon only for as little as $1. Maybe that'll come out before the end of June.
Shameless plugging.
It definitely will come out before the end of June.
You think so?
Promises made, promises kept.
Okay.
That's a quote from something, right?
I have no idea.
It's probably from like fucking Elf. No one else.
No, it's not. Elf.
Most of our quotes come from
stupid movies.
Terrible movies from the early 2000s.
Yep.
Anyway.
How do you feel about that?
I feel
I said in the
it's more questions than answers, and you
Very
know
much.
I hate unsolved cases, so I feel like you're picking those on purpose, and I just smashed my ring.
No,
on
it
the
was an
table.
accident. You sent it to me, and I started reading it.
It was a what?
On accident?
I thought you said it was an accent. I was like,
I thought you were going to be like, it's an accident?
yes. Well, you said it was an ass-ass-ination, and that's like...
Okay, I can't tell you how many times I misspelled assassination,
It's
and I don't know what...
ass-ass-ination.
I know, my brain could not handle the spelling of that word. Guys, did you know I studied English?
Yeah, but how many times did you type in assassination? Goodness gracious, our speaking ability... For people who,
It's
quote
time to
unquote,
call it.
have a podcast, our speaking ability has waned tonight.
It's diminished.
I also haven't looked up at the time in a while.
He got chatty, guys.
And the bird, screamed. So
She's getting chatty. It's
That's-
time to wrap it up.
Nope. I think we can do another 40 minutes here.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Just bullshitting?
Let's just Google the Purple Gang and see what. Just kidding.
Just right now on the
Anyway,
fly.
yes. Thank you for listening.
Congratulations.
If you made it this far, yes, 100% congrats. Thanks to all our patrons. We appreciate you. We started the giveaway. Tag all your friends, or one friend, or if that's all your friends, that's fine too. No judgment here.
Nope.
I'm very light in the friend department myself. No judgment. But yeah, thanks for listening. What is this episode? 32? Is it? Mm-hmm. You said that confidently, so we're going with it.
Okay.
The
30 was Stonewall. We had one more
episode
before
0
that, and
throws
it's
everything
32.
off, so
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for listening. And we'll do this again in like 4 days.
Sounds good.
Does it?
Yep.
Great.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to our terrible podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, or wherever you like to listen. Feel free to follow us on Twitter at TMSTPod.
And if you'd like to support the show, you can find us on Patreon at Tell Me Something Terrible.
Oof, that was terrible.